Hey guys, Billy Applehart here, author of Money Mastery, where we talk about making sense of making money for making a difference. And in fact, if you haven't got a copy of the book, I'd like to encourage you. You can go on Amazon.com and download it on Kindle, or you can go right to our website, BillyEpplehart.com, and you can order the book on there. One of the things I'd like to ask you to do is, first of all, I want to thank you for tuning in and for being a part of the blog in an active way. Secondly, I want you to know you can help me, especially as we post these. If you leave a comment to say, just say I'm here. Hey, I'm watching, I appreciate it. Or also just hit like, either way. Or the most important, really important, would be to share it so other people can see it if you think they need it. And so today we're going to continue with talking about the 14 mistakes, and really we've got some bonus ones, 14 mistakes that new real estate investors make. And today we're actually again in the bonus section, and we're going to get through several of these. So we've got them listed here, as you can see in the back. And the next one that we have coming up is this one, which is paying contractors before they have finished with the work on your house or before they have finished with rehab. Now this is true with any property, whether it's your primary house or whether it's an investment property. But let's talk specifically in regards to an investment property. In regards to that, one of the things that I always like to do is that if it's a very big project, I want to make sure that the contractor has workman's comp. In other words, that contractor has workman's comp, and so do all of his contractors or subcontractors or people that work. Now, listen, I already know, folks, this can get kind of expensive. So sometimes if you have smaller rehabs, it's better just to use a handyman. I'm referring now to larger contracts where, for example, you may have a number of different tradesmen that actually come on the property. If that's the case, there's two things you really want. You want some indication that there's proof of workman's compensation, because what happens if they fall or slip on your property, you're the one that can be responsible to pay if that contractor that you've hired has not covered their workers. So that's real important to know, especially in the construction business. I also know, for all you seasoned real estate investors out there, I know that can jack up the price of the contract. In other words, increase it. And so you have to, it's a balancing act between using handymen to do your work. And if you've got one guy that's going to do all the work, then having workman's comp may or may not be necessary depending on your circumstance. But also, the other thing that goes with this is I like proof from my contractor that all of their workers have been paid. Some of you may have heard me tell the story. Over the years, I've done several commercial buildings along with, of course, quite a bit of single-family residential real estate. And one time I laughed because I was doing a commercial project, and I remember this guy coming and begging me for a job. I mean, he was telling me how his kids hadn't eaten, and he was just giving me this sob story. So I hired him. He was a bricklayer. So I hired him on this job to actually lay the brick. And what was interesting was, of course, he came to me and he wanted to be paid. And so I paid him what was owed for the contract for the work that he did, right? He was finished. I saw it. He was done. It looked good. I had it inspected, in this case by the architect and the engineer, and everything was in good shape. So I paid him. Well, what I didn't realize, he didn't pay any of his employees that were helping him on that job. So guess who they came back to? They came back to me. So I not only paid him the full price for the contract that I had with him, I had to pay all the wages for his employees too. At that time, I was a novice in the area of real estate and didn't understand that you need to have proof that they paid their contractors. So of course, if you're dealing with people you know real well and they have a proven history, you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. But if you're new, I can tell you right now, contractors, sometimes you'll be out twice the money just because you haven't done your due diligence and your homework. And then the last thing on this one is that remember that final payment, so let's say the last 10 or 20% of the payment that you owe on the contract should not be released until all the proper government inspections have happened. So for most of you, that's going to be tied to the particular municipality or district that you're in, city or county. Just depends on what municipality is regulating the building codes and the building inspectors. And so what happens, I've seen many mistakes happen where those kind of things have not been paid properly, and so they haven't been finished properly, and therefore they pay ahead of time, and then they come back and the inspectors want a lot more work done. So anytime you do a contract, you should always tie it to approval from whatever particular municipality. So for example, if somebody's doing something in your kitchen, putting up new cabinets, and if it's necessary, it's not always necessary, but if it's necessary to pass inspection, then you should tie payment to that inspection passing to make sure that that happens. And so this is one of the bonus mistakes we're giving you, is paying contractors before they have finished with the work, making sure you have these guidelines. So this is Billy Applehart saying thanks for joining me. We're going to cover another mistake or two in the next vlog. And listen, if this has been helpful to you, make sure you share it or you like it, and I'll see you right here, right back on the vlog.